Miss Dietrich, first of all, may I welcome you on behalf of the Tape Circle, and would you like to say hello, not to me, but to all the people who will be listening to you?
Surely I will. Hello. My love to all of you.
Your career is so well known that it seems almost impertinent to sort of go back to the beginning and ask all the questions that everybody always asks, but nevertheless, just to make it rounded off, can I say, can I go back to the beginning a bit?
Sure.
And say that you had a pretty disciplined upbringing as a child. What sort of effect has this had on your career? Because you do a very disciplined act now.
Well, surely it has had all the effect on my career, because I was told, if you're unhappy, don't show it. If you hurt, don't show it. Don't cry. And that has helped me, because I had a very difficult childhood naturally. There was war, and it has helped me to be a disciplined person. Now, I don't say that that's easy today, because most of the people today aren't disciplined. So they think that I'm terribly tough, which I'm not. I just am disciplined. I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to do.
Fine, that's the impression I got.
Yes.
You were supposed originally you were studying the violin, and it didn't happen. You broke your wrist or something.
Yes.
How great a disappointment was this?
A terrible disappointment, because I wanted to be a violinist, and I had an inflammation of the fourth finger, and in those days, they put you in a cast. And naturally, when I came out of the cast, I had no more strength in the finger, and I just gave it up. Probably wasn't the right thing to do, but when we are young, we all do sort of foolish things.
Yes, so instead you went into the theatre, but had no theatrical background, to my knowledge. So what drew you to the stage? Or maybe you did have a theatrical background, perhaps
I had a what?
No theatrical background.
No. None.
So what drew you to the theatre?
Well, I love poetry, and I've always thought it's wonderful to read poetry or have it read to you, and I thought of the theatre. I thought, where can you read poetry? And that's how I went to the theatre school. That's how it all started.
And then it all started, and it started on the stage, and then there was the Blue Angel, and you went to Hollywood. And when you went, at the moment when you went to Hollywood, what had you in view for your career then? I mean, did you envisage at that moment that
I had nothing in view.
No? You didn't think that you would?
No, I didn't know anything. I went there because the director who had done the Blue Angel asked me to come, but I didn't know anything. I was too young. I was pretty dumb, like most young people are.
Yeah. Anyway, you turned into one of the all-time great film stars.
Well, he did that, yeah.
Well.
Not I, no. No, I just followed orders.
That moment, yeah, but okay, so later. And during your time in Hollywood, you worked for some of the greatest directors.
Well, only for him,
yeah, but you made films under other directors later.
Yes, but they weren't as good, no.
No?
No.
Oh, I was going to ask you if any of them were, and if so, who?
No. The ones that are known still today are all...
You did Wilder, didn't you? You worked for Hitchcock at some point?
Oh, yes, in England.
Yes.
But I mean, in Hollywood,
No.
I did not work for him.
Okay. You're on record, in fact, as saying that I always had to play parts that had nothing to do with me at all.
That's right.
Can you explain it a bit?
Yes, I can. Well, most of the parts I played were rather vulgar girls, right? And I come from a very strict officer's family, so I never played myself. I played a part. And most of the parts I had in Hollywood were also sort of girls of, what do you call it, of easy virtue? Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why I always had to act. You see, I never played myself, which is okay, because I don't think I'm that interesting myself.
Well, I think you've disproved that by your solo act now.
Now I do. Now I do myself,
Yeah.
yes.
You also said that you were, I was thrown into this business and it was hard work all along the line, which sounds as though you never really wanted to be a film star.
No, not that kind of a film star, no.
No.
But I was in it and I had to do my work.
And you did it
Yeah.
splendidly. But you were never basically a singer in films, I mean, apart from the occasional Destry Rides Again.
Yes, I sang a
But so
few
how
songs.
did this, yeah. So how did this evolve, this new career of a solo singing?
I tell you why, when I went into the army and they asked me, what can you do? Can you dance? I said, no. And they said, can you sing? I said, well, yes, sure.
Mm.
And I joined the army, and I was for the army for 3 years. And I sang for the troops, and that is where I got all my experience. That's where I learned how to answer back when people scream at you and say something. Right? And then after the war was over, then I started to get offers, you know, to do a one-woman show. And I like it because I can sing the songs I like.
Yeah.
I don't have to do what somebody else tells me.
No.
So that's why I like this profession I'm in now.
I was going to say, do you like it? Noel Coward says that work is more fun than fun. Or, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I love to work.
Now, how do you choose your repertoire, in fact? Because sometimes I get the feeling that you choose songs that you're sort of forcing on people. Not forcing on a public that is... People go to have a happy evening out, and you make them listen to songs which perhaps are not usually associated with happiness. Well, not happiness.
No, I sing the songs I like.
Yeah. How much of your
And I
own, perhaps
sing-
what I'm trying to say is how much of your own philosophy goes into your act?
All my philosophy. I mean, I sing some songs I have to sing because they expect it. But otherwise, I do sing anti-war songs because naturally everybody knows that I'm against all killing and all wars. But also, it's because of today that people have to be aware of the problems of today. You can't just go on singing sweet songs. I do some sweet songs, but I also do some songs to wake them up. Because sometimes you have to wake them up.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
People have asked you why you haven't changed the act, and all of a sudden you have changed
I
the
have
act.
changed
Yes,
it,
I was
sure.
going to ask you why you changed
Yeah,
it.
but you
because
see, that's the legend. You hear that I always do the same thing. You hear that... you hear all sorts of
Oh,
things
I know.
about me. They say, you can't talk to me. Now, you're talking to me now, aren't you?
Yes.
They like to make some monster out of people, which I'm not. And I don't think any of us are monsters. But they like it. They like to say, oh, she was terrible and this and that. Well, I don't think that's very constructive. No.
No. There was a line in a film by Judy Garland, with Judy Garland, in which she played a solo performer on the stage, and the line was something like this. They say that when you get out on the stage and the spotlight hits you, you don't feel a thing. And the payoff was, she said, it's a dirty lie. Now, how in fact do you feel when you walk out on what must be a very lonely stage?
Well, I can't agree with that. It's not that you don't feel a thing, no.
No.
When you walk out, you start to do your show, you start to do your work, and you perform.
But do you have, do you even now have stage fright?
No, I never had, no.
Never?
No. I wouldn't know how to perform with stage fright. Because I think that all these people who tremble, you know, they tremble in the wings and they say, oh, I don't know. I think they should go and make shoes or shirts or dresses or do something else. Why would they go and suffer every night? I don't suffer. I stand there and I love to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Marvelous.
know nothing of,
No.
of stage fright. No.
That's marvelous.
No.
How dependent on you are you on your rapport, if that's the right word, with your musical director in your act?
Oh, very much so, yes. You know, Bert Bacharach, who was my music director, he's too famous now, so he can't travel with me anymore.
And you've now got William Blizzard, which is...
Yes, and I have Stan Freeman, and
Yeah. Because
it's
this must
very
be
important.
terribly
It's the most important thing, yes.
And how long does it take you to feel an audience? Because every night the audience must be different.
In the first 2 seconds, you know the audience.
And how much do you regard the audience? By which I mean, there's a famous English actress who said you should totally disregard audience reaction.
I don't know. Oh, no.
No?
I'm very dependent on audience reactions.
Yes.
If they don't applaud, I get scared stiff. I say, oh, God, they don't understand me. I'm very dependent on the audience, yes.
And do you alter your act at all
No.
to the audience?
No.
No.
I can't because we have rehearsed. See, we only have one day before we open. So in that one day we have to do the lights, we have to do the rehearsing. I do 22 songs a night, you know, to rehearse all those songs. We only have one day. There isn't much time.
Fantastic.
No.
You've played to audiences all over the world. Which is your favourite country to play in?
England.
Ah.
Yeah. That's the best audiences in the world.
In what way?
Next to is Israel
Yes.
and Russia.
Yeah. You obviously move your audience tremendously. What, if I can ask, what kind of things move you personally?
Move me.
Yeah.
Well, the audience moves me. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean that they understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that they cry, that they know what I'm saying to them. And when they write me letters, you know, I have such fan mail and I answered all myself. And when they say I cried so hard when you sang this and this song, I write them a letter. And I say, well, isn't it wonderful that you still can cry? Because many people can't cry. Right?
Too true. Too true.
Right.
Yeah. Tell me, you talked about being a legend and the press make you a legend. How tough is it to have to always be a legend?
I'm not always. It's all made up, you know, in the papers, the legend and the thing. I'm a human being like everybody else. I wash dishes, I do things with my hands, right? Which I like to do. And if you are working for people who can't see, is that right?
Yes.
I think that as long as one can use one's hands and one can hear, it's wonderful.
Yes.
Because to see now, in our days, it is so terrible. You open a magazine and you see the starving children with the bloated bellies in India. You know, you wish you couldn't see. But when you hear, you can hear the beauty of the world, because there's still some beauty left.
I think everybody who is listening, in point of fact, who, as I say, haven't got their sight, and I would take a bet that they would all prefer to be unsighted rather than to be deaf.
Sure, I understand that. I understand that if you can't see, you wish you would see. But then...
No, but they would agree with you. They would prefer, I'm sure, to be blind rather than to be deaf.
Well, that's pretty tough to say.
I know, it is tough, but...
So I don't say that. I say that if you cannot see, that's your fate, then there are other things that you have in life. You have a touch that nobody has. You can hear, you can have music, and you can have a family, and you can have love, And that's all that matters. I don't say it's a terrible thing not to see. You can't say it, that. But I don't think at this present moment they should be too unhappy, because the world now is very ugly. And it's fine that they can't see it. And now I have to go, and I say goodbye.
Well,
and thank you very much, and bless you all. Bye-bye.
thank you very much.